Hey guys, it's Chris with Destination Beer. We are hanging out at GABF at the Parrot event on Thursday night, and look who I ran into. It's the Beer-vangelist. How you doing, Fred?
I'm good, thank you. How about yourself?
I am outstanding. We are having a great time pairing beer, pairing food, enjoying the both, and that's something you do a lot of. You're good at this.
Absolutely, yep.
So tell us about your experience pairing beer and food.
Well, my experience is that, everybody loves pairing things. It's when two flavors come together and excite one another in some way and make the experience different, hopefully for the better. I think sometimes it can appear like a very technical exercise, which I believe it isn't at all. It's very intuitive, it's very mindful, it's simply us finding these combinations pleasant. One of the things I like to tell people is that if you know whether or not you like peanut butter and jelly together, you've been pairing since you were a little kid.
Right.
So now it's just about applying it to a new universe where maybe you didn't think about doing it with beer and food before, but your palate and your brain have been doing it for a long time.
That's a great way to put it, because you think about it, people really have been doing different pairings, and now you let your mind actually start thinking about the pairings and how they work, and from there it's pretty much an easy leap to the next thing.
Especially if people are thinking about flavors. So I like to use the styles and the producer and the brands as kind of the Dewey Decimal System to find flavors. But really we're asking ourselves, would roast go with this? Would I like some herbaceousness or some brightness or bitterness? Do I want something sweet? Do I want something caramely, nutty? And then we can say, okay, well, something caramely would really hit the spot with this dish. Okay, well, I can find that in a number of different styles to different degrees. I can get a wheat wine or a barley wine or a Bock or an amber. And depending on the intensity that I want and the range that I want, or the collection of other flavors, then it'll kind of narrow down to something specific. But thinking flavor and thinking intuitively to me is something that I try to encourage people to do, because everybody can enhance their experience thinking about what am I having for dinner, so what kind of beer should I have, what kind of beer am I having, what would I like to eat with it. If they take that moment to ask that question, the rest starts to fill in, and they get better and better and better the more they do it.
Yeah. Now, you've written a cookbook, which has been out for just over a year, called the Beer-vangelist Guide to the Galaxy. Is that right?
You got it, yeah.
All right, I nailed that one. So tell us about this cookbook.
So it's part cookbook, part pairing guide, and then it also is a collection of essays on seasonal eating and drinking. So this mindfulness and flavor-first mentality is a big thing that's in there. But I take us through the seasons, because when I started working on the book, and I've been doing pairing and beer dinners for decades.
A long time.
But when I was doing the book, it just felt kind of academic to think about rules and teaching everything from this how-to point of view. And I really thought about what's changed in me as an eater and as a cook with all the connection to chefs and restaurants that I've had. And what I found is there's a moment that things turn around when you start looking at ingredients first, and you start eating fresher, and you start your diet and your cooking in your kitchen starts to reflect the season at hand.
Right.
So I looked at it as what foods are present in spring, what's fresh, what's now, and then what are the styles of beer that fit those foods, and what are some dishes we can make from them. So it describes everything connected to seasonal eating and drinking, which I think is the next step for everybody in terms of you want to up your game, get the best ingredients you can in the kitchen. You do that by looking for what's fresh and what's great.
You know, I like the idea of seasonal eating. Probably people don't think about it, at least not consciously, when they're shopping in a grocery store and, I find this fruit and vegetable in the spring, and I find this one in the fall, because that's when they're coming out.
The modern day grocery store, God bless them, we are grateful that the technology exists, that we can have all these foods throughout the year, but they've also really confused a generation. Because if you look in there would be no way to understand what season it is. They have asparagus 12 months out of the year. And so it's part of the essays, besides some instruction on pairing and some examples and about 35 recipes. There's also things like encouraging people to go to the farmer's market, even if you don't know what to do or how it works. If you walk the aisles of the farmer's market and ask a few questions here and there, you watch the seasons roll before you.
Yeah.
You know when it's blueberry season.
Exactly,
you know when it's raspberry season. And if you're not sure, you ask a farmer, how long are these going? They'll tell you exactly what's going on. And so there's an essay called There's More Than Food at the Farmer's Market, because there's an education there.
Yeah.
And it's all part of, I compare food and beer and drink in general to each other a lot, and the fact that they're all in this renaissance of connection, of a connected lifestyle where people know where things come from, they know who's making it, and they just know more. It's an educated marketplace.
Yeah.
It's partly what went away in the, say, 50s through the 80s. So there's a lot of excitement in terms of connecting these worlds. Chefs are excited about beer, brewers are excited about food.
Absolutely.
And the best thing of all that is the consumers have the best choices they've ever had in food and drink.
And we get to be excited about great brewers and great chefs bringing things together for us and making amazing dishes and amazing beers. So that's what Paired is all about. But guys, you can come here to Denver and be a part of this event, but you can do this in your own kitchen. Start by getting a book like the Beer-vangelist Guide to the Galaxy, and just start in your own kitchen. Just start playing around and seeing how things work. It's a lot of fun. You're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna have a great time. So
I would add that the lessons you learn in your kitchen really apply to going to a restaurant. You start to see the options that are available. You can order better, you can host your friends better, you can do some fun things in terms of bringing beer to the table for a platter of appetizers and doing it mindfully. And then likewise, what you learn in the restaurants can up your game at home. So it's all a matter of being mindful and having fun both in and out of the house.
Yeah, awesome. Guys, we're gonna go enjoy some more beer and food pairings. Appreciate you joining us. I don't have my glass on me, but you know, cheers.
Here, you can finish that.
Cheers.